their own countries, and he cited the Bangladeshi community. That is dog whistle racism. And let us take the words of the greatest anti-racist the world has seen. My former boss, Nelson Mandela, who on his release from 27 years in an apartheid prison, didn't say, let me go and party with all the racists. Instead, he said, our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinian people. Thank you.
From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. From the belly of the beast, hands of the Middle East. Stop arming Israel! 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 Our next speaker is from a trade union that has always stood for peace and with the Palestinian people. Please welcome the RMT President, Alex Gordon.
Thanks, Shirley. Brothers and sisters, I'm bringing this demonstration all the solidarity from my General Secretary Mick Lynch and the National Executive Committee of my union, the RMT. The RMT calls on the British government to use all its influence and power to stop the escalation of war in the Middle East. The TUC conference 2 weeks ago in Brighton resolved unanimously to condemn the bombing of Lebanon and attacks on Iranian territory, to oppose any attempt to escalate this war and to demand a ceasefire now, and to support the call by Stop the War for a UK-wide workplace day of action in support of an immediate ceasefire on Thursday, the 10th of October. Our movement must seize this moment to stand clearly on the side of those calling for an immediate ceasefire, diplomatic negotiations for a sustainable and permanent peace in the Middle East, and for an end to Britain's military involvement in supporting Israel's genocidal war in Gaza and on its neighbours in Lebanon and Syria through a total embargo on UK arms sales to Israel. And as my old comrade Bob Crow used to remind us, RMT has all the same reasons as everyone else for opposing war and supporting peace. But we also have thousands of other additional reasons. Our members working for the Royal Fleet Auxiliary are deployed into theatres of war, and at this very moment, RFA Royal Fleet Auxiliary vessel Mounts Bay is in the Eastern Mediterranean with RMT members on it, helping to provide essential humanitarian supplies to civilians in Lebanon as the situation deteriorates. What is scandalous is that these civilian workers deployed into a region where an armed conflict is taking place are currently being forced to take strike action over their employer's failure to pay them a cost of living pay increase in 2024. Mick Lynch told demonstrators at the Labour Party conference last weekend, it is clear that these workers need to be given a pay rise that recognises the important and often hazardous work they do all over the world. Brothers and sisters, this is a moment when the interests of workers come together with the interests of humanity for peace, for an end to war. On Saturday, the 5th of October, join us at the National Demonstration for Palestine, meeting in Russell Square, marching to Whitehall, demanding 1 year on, end the genocide in Gaza and stop arming Israel. On Thursday, the 10th of October, join a workplace day of action in your school, university or workplace. Put a motion through your union branch, get your fellow workers together, take action outside your workplace, inside your workplace, wherever you can do it. Show your solidarity with the people of Palestine, with the people of Lebanon, with the people of the Middle East who are being forced, who are facing a threat to their very right to exist and to live. And on Saturday, the 19th of October, the Palestine Solidarity Campaign hopes you will attend the trade union conference of the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, which will be taking place in London at Hamilton House. Available details available on our website. Comrades, trade union members have been at the forefront of the fight back against the increasingly genocidal actions of the State of Israel, including the tens of thousands who have joined the huge national protests in London and in cities all over England, Scotland, Wales and Ireland. And we've been leading actions of all kinds, including in our workplaces and our local areas, to demand an end to British state, corporate and institutional complicity in Israel's crimes. We need to continue that fight. It's our duty as trade unionists and as activists in the UK to escalate our solidarity for freedom, equality and justice for the Palestinian people, justice for the people of Lebanon, justice for the Middle East. Free Palestine!
Free! 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 The RMT Union with a clear message for our government. Keir Starmer, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! Keir Starmer, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! If you're currently behind the stage, please come round. There is more space at the front here. Please keep making your way round. There are hundreds of us already here on the streets. Wave your flags and banners and make some noise! Our next speaker is one of the organisers of tonight's demonstration, the convener of the Stop the War Coalition, Lindsay German.
Thanks very much, Sally, and thanks to everybody for being here tonight. We now have not just one genocide, the genocide in Gaza. We now have two genocides, the genocide against the Lebanese people. We have always said on demonstration after demonstration that Israel is a terror state. And the events of the last 2 weeks have shown that even more than they have in the last year. Because what have we seen? We've seen thousands of people maimed by the pager attack, people who lost their hands, people who lost their eyes, and now hundreds of people killed by bombings and missile attacks, simply because they are in Lebanon and Israel thinks it can act with impunity. Why does it think it can act with impunity? Because nobody in government has done a thing to stop Israel from carrying out the genocide in Gaza and now from attacking Hezbollah and the Lebanese people. And all the time we are told this is their right to defend themselves, their right to defeat terrorism. It is nothing of the sort. It's a genocidal attack. They want a war across the Middle East and they don't care how many people are killed as a result of it. And we must stand up against that. That is what we are doing here tonight. And those of you who know Lebanon, Lebanon on a number of occasions. People will know what a beautiful country it is. People will know how much the Lebanese people have suffered as a result of war. I went to Sabra and Shatila, where I met survivors of the horrible massacre where thousands of people were killed under the auspices of the Israeli invasion 40 years ago. I've met those people. I know how they suffered. We know the Palestinians living there, thousands of them were slaughtered by the militias, allowed to do so by the Israeli army. So we have no illusions. We know in 2006 they tried to do it again and they were beaten back and they weren't able to do it. And we have to show our solidarity today and say they will not succeed in attacking Lebanon. They will not succeed in destroying the Lebanese people. We will stand with them and we are proud to stand with them. And I have a message for Keir Starmer and for David Lammy. I don't know if you heard them at the United Nations in New York. They're attacking Russia for invading Ukraine. Fair enough. They're attacking Russia for imperialism. How dare they attack Russia when they have invaded so many countries, when they have started so many wars, when they are the representatives of the biggest and oldest imperialist country in the world? They should hang their heads in shame. And they're very quick to attack Russia. Let's see if they attack Netanyahu when he goes there tomorrow. They should all walk out. They should refuse to be in the same room as this war criminal and this murderer, which is what Netanyahu is. Instead of which, they will just bleat on about we need a ceasefire. There would be a ceasefire tomorrow if they stopped arming Israel. That would be a and that has to be the starting point. As long as Israel is able to do what it does, because of Britain, because of the United States, because of Joe Biden, who is the most disgusting president of the United States, and who is allowing these wars to continue. They are reckless and dangerous people. And it's only the people of the Middle East and the people who show solidarity around the world who are standing up to these. And we have to continue to do so. So I just want to echo what the previous speaker said. We have a national demonstration next week, October the 5th. This will be about 1 year on since the attack on Gaza. But it will also be hands off Lebanon, do not invade Lebanon, do not dare to keep attacking the Lebanese people. And on October the 10th, we'll also have the Trade Union Day of Action to say to the employers and to the governments, we will not let you continue to do this. So just remember, comrades and friends, just remember this. People say demonstrations don't matter. People in Lebanon and Gaza will see what we're doing here tonight in London. People will know what it is that we're doing. And that makes them feel they have friends and they have allies around the world. They told us when we first started demonstrating, you're not allowed to wave Palestine flags. Look at all the Palestine flags and the Lebanese flags here today. We will fly these flags proudly. They told us we couldn't chant from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. We chant it on every single demonstration. And we are going to keep organising and keep fighting until we win. These people who support Israel are a tiny minority. We are the majority, and we're going to fight to make sure they don't win.
Thank you, Lindsay. Now, I know tonight we have many of our brothers and sisters who are Lebanese Londoners. Make some noise. Make some noise for our Palestinian brothers and sisters. And everyone who is standing up for British
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you all. We stand here today because the same cycle of brutality, the same cycle of violence is continuing. Not just in Palestine, but now, once again, in Lebanon. Israel's genocidal regime of violence knows no borders, and today the war machine expands into the skies and lands of Lebanon. The war crimes we saw in Gaza and continue to see, the bloodshed, the indiscriminate bombing, the targeting of civilians, the bombing of hospitals and schools and UN shelters are all unfolding in Lebanon. The exact same tactics, the exact same brutality is now being met with the exact same international silence. When Israel reduced entire neighborhoods in Gaza into rubble, the world stood silent. When they turned so-called safe zones into killing fields, the world stood silent. When they bombed schools, sheltering families, stormed hospitals, and blew up every single university in Gaza, the world stood silent. And when Israel kidnapped, tortured, raped, and murdered Palestinian hostages, the world stood silent. That silence is complicity. The failure to act and that silence has embodied Israel to continue its war crimes into Lebanon. They see no limits to their aggression. They see no bounds to their war crimes because the international community once again is standing silent. Our government, in the face of all this, chose to ban less than 10% of arms exports to Israel. That doesn't include the F-35s that are flying over Gaza and are now flying over Lebanon, continuing the war crimes, bringing more and more bloodshed into the Middle East. It is long time for our government to push for immediate sanctions, for a full arms embargo, and to support international investigation into Israel's war crimes. Anything less is not just a betrayal of those in Palestine and those in Lebanon, but to the very principles of justice and humanity. We cannot, and we must not, and we will not allow our taxes, our foreign policy, and our government silence to continue to allow to fuel this bloodshed any longer. We stand in solidarity with the people of Lebanon. We stand in solidarity with the people of Palestine until the bombing stops, until the occupation ends, and until the entire genocidal settler colonial regime is dismantled. So say it loud and clear so those across the street can hear us. Hands off Lebanon, hands off Palestine. Hands off Lebanon, hands off Palestine. Thank you.
Our next speaker from the campaign for nuclear disarmament, please welcome Sophie Ball.
Thank you very much. It's amazing to see so many of you here tonight. Now, what's happening in Lebanon today is the direct result of Western backing of Israel. We have a genocidal, nuclear-armed state that has killed over 41,000 Palestinians in Gaza. And now it's killed over 500 people in Lebanon in just one day, with tens of thousands forced to flee. Rather than agree a ceasefire, Israel seems intent on dragging the whole region into a war. Back in April, we all witnessed in horror as Israel bombed the Iranian consulate in Syria, horrified that this would spark an all-out war. And then in July, instead of agreeing a ceasefire, Israel bombed the Yemen, with yet more crimes. And now Israel is simultaneously massacring Palestinians in Gaza, bombing Syria, and murdering civilians with its lethal fighter jets in southern and eastern Lebanon. Now, Israel can only carry out this level of slaughter and destruction because of the political and military support it gets from the West. We know that the US has transported hundreds of weapons shipments and continues to pump in billions of dollars of military aid. And we know that the second largest arms supplier to Israel after the US is the European Union. And of course, in Britain, millions of pounds worth of parts and weaponry are exported to Israel. Today, we also know that the US, Britain, and the European Union have called for a 3-week ceasefire. Now, this is because they have come under such enormous pressure from the states in the global south and the public pressures in their own countries. That's from us. But of course, this has to be a permanent ceasefire. Otherwise, it solves nothing. It is just an obscene pause before Israel renews its slaughter. And of course, if Israel's key backers really want to secure this ceasefire, they can use their power to make it happen. That means enforcing an arms embargo now. It means withdrawing military aid now. So we have to keep up the pressure for a permanent ceasefire, for an arms embargo. Hands off the Lebanon! Solidarity!
Thank you, Sophie. Isn't it afraid going to stop us tonight? No, and you know why? Because one, we are the people too. We won't be silent. Three. Stop the bombing now, 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 now. One. We are the people. Two. We won't be silent. Three. Stop the bombing now, 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 now. And because the weather doesn't stop the brave Palestinians resisting occupation and war in their homeland. So please welcome a young British Palestinian representing the Palestinian Forum in Britain and in our state.
Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! We stand here today, not just in protest, but in rage. A righteous burning anger against the crimes that continue to rain down on our people in Gaza and Lebanon. Over 500 martyrs in a single day. How long will the world stay silent? How long will the blood of our people be spilled without consequences? What is happening in Lebanon right now is not an isolated attack. It's part of the same systematic genocide that has been tearing Gaza apart. The same bombs, the same massacres, the same intent to erase us, to wipe out off the map one child, one family, one neighborhood at a time. And make no mistake, this is a genocide, not a conflict. It is a systematic extermination of our people. And the thing that enables this genocide is the weapons, the bombs that are dropped in our homes, the bullets that tear through our children. These weapons are not just coming from Israel, they are coming from Britain, from Europe and America. Countries that claim to stand for human rights are sending the very tools of death to slaughter our families. We are here today to say enough is enough, and we will not stand while weapons made in the West are used to kill innocents in Gaza and Lebanon. We demand an immediate stop to all arms to Israel. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. The UN has passed resolution after resolution, declaring our right to return, demanding an end to the occupation, calling to stop the bombs in Gaza and Lebanon. But what good are these resolutions if no one enforces them? What good are the laws if they don't protect the innocent? We are not asking for charity. We are demanding justice. We are demanding that the world stand up for what is right and end this genocide now. So the government tells the world, shame on you! Shame on you for allowing this massacre to continue. Shame on